Hi everyone and welcome back to Diamond Paintings with me, your host Mike. And today we are going to be doing some more of this lovely painting that we've been working on the last few days. Just trying to think out the times. 5, 10, 15, 28, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so yeah. It's been a very cold morning this morning. Got up at 8 but then fell back to sleep again. And then got up at 10. Didn't really have to get up early, but my Amazon gift card has been dispatched, so I don't know whether they're sending it. Normally gift cards will come through more now, so hopefully today. But I don't know if there's a strike or not or what, so... But yes, as soon as I get that, I'm spending that. So, yeah. But yesterday was a funny night. So, yeah, I got up. I'll just sort this one first. I got up and made a cuppa, brushed my teeth, had a shower, and now read a bit more of my lovely wildlife magazine. And just found out that buy subscriptions do digital, so I may change it over to digital just to cut down on the amount of paper, because I'm a woodland activist, so I help to try and get things paper free to save trees, because a tree has to suffer to get you paper. That K I haven't forgot. I sort of forgot, but I'll make sure that's sorted for next time. That'll be part of the filling situation. But yeah, that's where we are now. And an ambulance came on, and I thought I'll watch that, but I wasn't really getting into it because it's not really like the ambulance. There's another program which goes around and they treat people in the back of the ambulance. This is more like visiting like care homes and stuff like that, and people in that are elderly, that have got dementia and that sort of thing, so I wasn't really getting into it. But yeah, yesterday it was quite funny on the news. So there was this bridge, and it looked a bit like the Humberside Bridge in the town that haunts me, which is Yorkshire. And yeah, these men apparently were up, they somehow got up in this massive bridge. It was on the Dartford crossing. And I don't know how the hell they got up there, but they obviously the bridge is like got loads of wires on it, and there's a man that put a banner up saying stop oil, but apparently he put a hammock up there, and he's lying in a hammock attached to the bridge. So obviously the bridge has had to be closed for safety reasons, so obviously they've gone up in a cherry picker to get him out. But everything's about stopping oil now, so there's protests happening. There's videos on TikTok where some selfish people have been in shops tipping out, like literally getting every bottle of milk on the shelf and just pouring it on the floor, undoing every lid and screwing it on the floor. You know? Especially when people need it, and all that shop, but while they're doing that, that shop's losing money. So that was quite interesting. So one was, I think, attached to a harness, and the other one was attached to a hammock. So how the hell they got up there, I really don't know. Because, you know, it's like the Humberside Bridge, it's full of wire. So that was quite interesting. But yeah, so the reason why Yorkshire haunts me is because... The reason why I say it haunts me is because everywhere I seem to go, or everything I hear, 10 times out of 10 is from bloody Yorkshire. And, you know, Yorkshire this, Yorkshire that, and it's like, go away, you know. But it's just so annoying, everything's about Yorkshire, you know. It's not the most famous place in the planet. So... that's why I say it haunts me, because if it's not Yorkshire tea, it's the Yorkshire bloody farmer. If it's not the farmer, it's something to do with Yorkshire food, and oh man. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. Got to watch the 1 o'clock news to see if there's anything exciting happening. I say that so sarcastically. wait for the Royal Mail. I don't know if there's a post-strike today, but apparently they're still supposed to deliver tracked items, so hopefully. It's quite naughty because they say it's not tracked and it is tracked. So they say, oh sorry, we can't give you the tracking number because they're sent standard. They're not, they're sent tracked. It says 48-hour tracked. So yeah, but the plan of action today is to really try and get this boshed now, get it abolished and finished. I've got a meeting this afternoon that's on the telephone call. And then Friday I've got to go to the doctors to see what they want me to do about this. I'm just going to put some wax on here to see what they want me to do about this this blood pressure stuff. So yeah, I don't know what the lineup is for that. I don't like, I'll be honest with you, I don't like attending doctor's appointments because it's a waste of my time. My surgery is the one that used to be where Braintree College was, but that's just been, Colchester have sold it to turn it into care homes, and I'm like, how many more care homes do we possibly need, you know? And because obviously Braintree owns that site, no, Colchester owns that site, so it's been there for years, but like everything else, they wanted to sell it to raise funds to, I think it was to bring up something else. I'm going to move that over slightly. Oh wow, that went on long then. Bargain hunt's on. And then obviously on the BBC News, they've been saying that it's their birthday yesterday, so 100 years of the BBC. And apparently, if anyone watches The Repair Shop, you will see a special appearance from King Charles. I love that programme because basically it's about people that come in with toys or, you know, their stuff that are broke, and The Repair Shop fixes it. And you don't have to pay, but I think you can give a donation, and it's run by a guy called Jay Blades. Brilliant show. And I wish that programme would come back. You know that programme, it used to be like a little railway programme, and they had to build a railway village. It was like 5 groups, and then obviously they had to build it from scratch, and then whoever wins, wins. I'd love to see that. So yeah. Oh, I'm getting quite nervous now. We're running out of blacks. Oh no, look at that. We've only got that left. Oh, I don't think we're going to do it. And then I found a new diamond painting company, which I'm hoping to come, I'll show it as soon as I can, because I haven't even bought from them yet. But what I can say is they're overseas, so yeah, there will be quite a wait. So yeah, let's get that round there. And then I thought, well, if I carry on watching Ambulance, I'm just going to sit here all day watching TV, and that's very unhealthy. So I thought I'll do this instead. Boop, boop, it's the sound of the police. Boop, boop, it's the sound of the police. You know that song? I only started singing it because I could hear it on the TV. But yeah, and then yesterday, I can't actually remember, but I also got my cross stitch magazine yesterday, so I'll be putting that on the craft channel later, and I got a lovely gift with it, but I need to check with it because it didn't come with a pattern this time, so I'm a little bit interested as to what's happened there, so I'll email them and figure out. But I'm missing an awful lot of issues. I must have started really, really late because they're on issue 326 and I'm on 96, so I must have started really late. But I've got a couple of craft things I need to do today. I wanted to get Titanic done, but every time I see it, it's daunting. So, yeah. But I don't know about you guys, but if anyone's watching here from World of Mike, my other channel, the section where there's a removable hull section for where you see the engine, I'm probably going to get a different piece of hull for that and mod it, because how many times are you going to literally just sit there and keep pulling it off and on to see the engine working? Do you see what I mean? So, or I may like leave it open on show so you can see it moving. But the way it's going to be done, it's very similar to the Rootmaster where the battery box was. They'll magnetise it. So you'll have a piece of hull with like 4 magnets attached to it. So yeah. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because like we subscribe to these builds and then that budget for that build is tied for like over 2 years. So for 2 years we've got to pay that out every month or every week, and I could really do with one of the builds finishing, you know, complete, to free up the budget, because at the moment I'm not entirely sure if I can do the Batmobile. Just depends. I mean, I do a lot of, people ask me all the time, how do you do so many builds? And the way I do it is I shuffle them about. So 1 month I'll pay, say, the Leopard tank, and then that will go on shelf. That'll be shelved for a couple of months, and then that budget gets moved to, say, the Eddie Stobart. You know, I rotate them, and the companies, they're really, really lovely. They pause it, you can pause it whenever you want, and it just allows you to work on another project and then come back to it. So it's like my Leopard tank, I should be getting this month, they should take the payment for the second half of the pack. Because what happens is on the 12 month, you get a pack every month, but with the 24 month option, you pay 1 month but don't get any parts, but then the second month you pay the second half of the payment, which then releases that pack. Apparently it's cheaper, but I don't think it is. So yeah, hopefully I should have pack 3. I really sort of took a break from that, because after seeing all the track, I thought, surely we're not going to be doing this every single time, and it wasn't really, I felt like I needed a break from it. I'll never ever, if I do a build, I will never give up on it, but sometimes you do need that mental break. So yeah. Oh, we're getting closer and closer to this block finishing. This is so exciting. So yeah, it's a pretty busy week really. So today and tomorrow is not really a lot happening, and then Friday I've got to go to, Friday's bloody manic because I've got to go to the doctors. Then obviously what I do on a weekend is I stay at my relatives, because I cut that travel. So rather than pay $7.90 over 2 days, I'll pay a single, which is $5.30 on the Friday, and then I save probably about £14 worth. Because I know I'm working the next day, it's just easier to go from my relatives, because I work in Whittam. And yeah, so then I'll get a single back on Monday and go home on the Monday. So that way I've only spent £10 and saved probably what, a few pence if that. But I just hate paying out for travel. I mean, I do get it back on Conquer, but you have to wait quite a long time to get that. So it's like, as soon as it's processed, it takes ages, because you put it on and that goes to someone else to approve it, then it goes to someone else to approve it, he has to then check it and then go someone else to approve it, and it's so much hassle just to get your payment back. Or you can do it on the pay slip system, but that's longer because you don't get it until the end of the month, whereas Conquer is like 4 days, so, which is quite nice because it comes in with my contract. I get all my travel reimbursed for me. So, because sometimes what happens is they say like, can you cover a different site, and obviously I have to then put in my expenses. Sometimes I have to stay in a hotel because it's too far to travel back. You know, I could finish at like 10 o'clock and then probably missed all the trains and that. So they do pay for like travel, they'll cover, they'll pay for your hotel room, they'll pay for any lunch that you get, so it's pretty good. But it's getting ridiculous now. I mean, Priti Patel said that she would freeze rail fares for 5 years, and I don't think that happened, because it's just going up. And I mean, Braintree to get to Whittam, it's like £7.90, and then when it's like less quiet, it goes down to like £6. I mean, £7.90, it's disgusting. And when I spoke to Greater Anglia, they reckon that they don't set the prices, it's the government. I don't believe that for 1 minute, because you're the company, you set your price. Very similarly, if you're a cafe shop, if you're the owner of that cafe, you're going to set your own prices, aren't you? So, I mean, the good old days, it used to be like £5 return, and it's just ridiculous. Might as well call it a tenner. I mean, I could get the bus, that's cheaper, but it takes longer to get there, you know. So I avoid buses wherever I can. Don't like buses. Although I do like the Route Master. I'll never forget that. I've been on one in London, and it went round the Heritage Route, which is number 15, Route 15. And it goes by Tower Hill and Trafalgar Square, and oh, it's lovely. Oh, what was that? Heard a vibration on the floor. Oh my god, don't know what that was. Did you hear that? It was like as if someone was on the ceiling. Oh, do you know what? My neighbour makes a lot of noise. It's always banging and crashing with something, and it's like, what the hell are you doing down there, you know? I reckon we're almost done on this little square. I like the way it's got like a brown stump, if you get me, like a little basket. Be interesting to find out what exactly this part is. I think it's supposed to be like a field or something, maybe. Oh yeah, that'd be a nice one to do, a tractor. If I ever did a painting, a diamond painting of a tractor, it would have to be the Maisie Ferguson. You know, that little red one? Yeah, definitely that. Definitely think I need to branch out from doing animal paintings. I do an awful lot of animal paintings. But yeah, I do need to branch out. I mean, I have done some house themes. I've got some woodland themes. I've actually got a woodland custom, funny enough. But you know, we get so many, and it's just hard to get the stash down, because you see more that you love, and you buy that, and then it's like, okay, so the stash has just been pushed back further. But yeah. I've actually started not buying paintings until I approach the end of summer, and it's worked better. Before, I used to get paid from work and just splash out on paintings, and I overspent so much I had to send some back to get my money back, because it caused problems with bills. And now I'm sort of like more careful. I make sure the bills are paid first, and then I can spend if I want to. But if I get that voucher today, I'll definitely do that. Because I don't, vouchers last a long time, but if I get a voucher, I normally spend it there and then. Normally at Christmas time, my relative gets me a voucher. That's the point, I could put that on the Christmas list. A voucher. But this year I'm probably going to ask for like paintings. With me, you know, as the older you get, you sort of treat it as a normal day, didn't you? I mean, Christmas for adults is basically, you know, just spending time with family, I suppose. you know, watching TV and that. It's not the same as a kid. Like when you're a kid, you get all excited about your presents. I mean, it's nice getting presents, don't get me wrong. But for me, as I've got older, I sort of treat it as a normal day. But yeah, it's very, very manic, to say the least. I was supposed to start my Christmas shopping in October, and that's gone out the window. Just haven't got round to it yet. Because things for me can change on a daily basis. Like with the schedules, I could say that, you know, Bismarck is coming up, and then the day comes and something else crops up. Like yesterday, we had Grow Your Own, so I did that instead of whatever Monday's video was supposed to be. So it can always change, but I don't like to tweak it too much. I like to keep it, you know, as best as I can. But yeah, it's a cold day today. Do you know, for years I've wanted it to snow on Christmas Day, and apparently we had one in 1986, I think it was. But a few years back it got really, really close to Christmas Day, and yeah, just for it to snow on Christmas, that would just be a dream come true. If it could snow in my lifetime on Christmas Day, that would be amazing. A white Christmas, oh man, could you imagine it? So funny, because Molly went out once and she couldn't work out what the snow was, so she's playing around with it, and she was having so much fun. Barking and digging it up, and oh yeah man, so funny. So yeah, I don't know if, is his name Jules? You know that he does a Christmas thing. Jules Halligan, is it? Probably got that wrong. But yeah, so today really is trying to get this painting done as much as possible, and then doing a bit of crafts that I need to do. I've got to do the world of cross stitching. I've actually got a really nice gift with this one. And then just sort of alternating. I don't film non-stop, I film, let it upload, and then I do some reading or some other bits and bobs that I need to do while that uploads, and then as soon as that's uploaded I'll get on with the next one, you know. So yeah. Oh, what's that? Is that BD? Some of these symbols can get quite smudged. So, oh, it's so exciting. Look at that, we're almost at the end. This is, oh wow. Oh, it's getting emotional now, like we're almost at the end of this painting. It's gonna whiz by, I reckon. Logs on the fire and crisp on the tree. A time to reach, oh my god, did I just say crisp on the tree? Oh my god. Where the hell did that come from? When I'm singing, I like to make random words up to rhyme with the song. So, yeah. Time to rejoice in the good that we see. Be interested, but it's going to be nice because my nephew will have his first Christmas, although he's going to be a baby. You know, he'll have his first sort of Christmas, I suppose. And obviously it's just another birthday you've got to pay out for. But I think since his passing of his granddad, of George's granddad, that George is my brother, and I think since the passing of his granddad, he will probably call him Jack, because that was his name. But for me, I know it sounds really awful, and I shouldn't really, you know, have that sort of thing. But when Jack died, he suffered with a condition called dialysis for ages, and that's where you have to go into hospital each week to clean the kidney out because your body literally don't do it. And it's where you have to sit in an armchair for 4 hours while it cleans the kidney out on a machine. And but yes, when they said, because I got a text from the relative, and he said, "I'm sorry to tell you this, Mike, but your granddad's died." And I know it's the wrong, I know I shouldn't feel like this, but I laughed, and I feel awful about it, but I just, for me, I didn't spend an awful lot of time with him. He always, whenever I visited, he would always keep looking at the clock as if to say, "I'm not going yet," And then he has the cheek to go, and then he said, once I got on the train, he said, "Oh, if you got home okay, are you on the train now?" And I'm like, I actually texted back. I said, "Don't take the piss. You've been looking at the clock waiting for me to leave ever since I got." And then I get a nasty text from my dad saying, "Oh, you won't be welcome up there no more." Okay, fine, but you don't go to someone's house and then keep looking at the clock for them to go. You never really. He always used to sit in his chair and take the piss out of me, so. Good riddance to him, and I really do know that that's not how I should be, and I know I shouldn't have that sort of lack of respect for him, but when you've not been around a certain person for so long, you don't really care. If I saw my brother every day, then that's a different sort of atmosphere because I'm used to seeing him. But because I've spent so many years not seeing him, I don't really show feelings. And a lot of my friends, even my mum says this. She said that I should be an undertaker because I don't get upset when people die. For me, you live, you die. It's part of the human life cycle, and I think I would be quite good at that job. Obviously, I was very upset about the Queen, but that's because she was the head of state for this country. But yeah, a lot of people say that I should be an undertaker, really. I've actually watched programmes of how an autopsy how they get it in the coffin and that, and they put these straps underneath and they lower it into the coffin, and then there's a thing called embalmation, or whatever it's called, embalm. But what they do is they make an incision into the neck to put this embalming stuff in they drain the blood and then they put embalming stuff in, which apparently is supposed to decrease the decomposition of your body, disintegrating. And yeah. It's interesting how, when you do a whipping chat, you can talk about all sorts of different things, and it's quite. I do love the whipping chats. It allows me to talk about things that I don't get often to talk about. Oh, look at that! We're on the last 2 rolls. Oh yes. You beauty. I'm going to shift that one there because that's an O anyway. But, oh my god, we're nearly on the second row. I'm so excited. It's Anastasia. Do you know Peter Andre and Katie Price? They went into the jungle and obviously they married and had a kid. But then Katie Price, a few years later, she went back in because they split up, and she went back in the jungle to close the chapter, apparently. But I think that's what this South Africa one's about, because they're doing, obviously, the 2022 version in Australia, but apparently they're doing another one in 2023, which is where all previous campmates go back for a special anniversary or something, but that's in South Africa. So... But yeah, the jungle, it was nice in the castle, but the jungle is the home of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It is the home of it, and apparently Ant and Dec have got COVID. So if they catch COVID out there, you're sort of thinking, well, who's gonna do the presenting of it? What is that? What the hell? Okay. I don't know what the fuck that is. Sounds like a road sweep or something. So yeah, I mean, obviously one time there was a series where Ant McPartlin wasn't on there because he had to go to this. He crashed his car or something happened, and he was took off. ITV bosses said, right, take a year off, and he had to present it with Holly Willoughby because he said that he didn't want another man to present with him because it would be taking Ant's place. So it sort of makes me think, well, if what happens if that happens? But remember that in the what was that? Hang on. Sorry about that. I thought someone knocked at the door. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, so in the castle, remember that they didn't have the spin-off show, which is the show that normally comes on after the main show. So I'm wondering if this year that spin-off show will be back, because normally after you've done the main show, you'll get like the after show with Joel Dommett. But every year, so the tradition goes, the winner of the Jungle is supposed to present the new after show. So it'd be interesting to see if that comes back. And it's really, I've seen behind the scenes, they have minutes to change the set round. Because obviously in the main show you have a table and like bar chairs. And then obviously in the after show they have a big rug and sofas and that. So that'd be interesting. But it'd be nice to see it back in the Jungle. I mean, 2 years doesn't feel long enough. It feels like it's only been off camera for like a while, but it's interesting. I wonder why they do it in November and not obviously the summer, because obviously when it's in November, they actually go out to the Jungle normally about June and July, because they're getting the set ready. There's a lot of overgrown. They've got a lot of voiceovers they need to do, so they're getting all that ready, getting all the Bush Tucker trials ready. But yeah, it'd be good to see it back. Absolutely. It's been a show that, as I said, it's been interesting in the castle, but the home of it is in the Jungle. But it'd be nice to see what the jungles look like, because I think the previous year they had a bushfire and it was getting very close to the set, and they were in touch with obviously the authorities over there, the fire brigade and all that, and there was a time where they thought it had to be cancelled, the show had to be cancelled, but no, they got through it. So really, really good. Well, look at this. We're coming up to the end of it. And then obviously, I think next year will be a good year. We've got the home of Big Brother coming back. I am absolutely buzzing about that. I love that show to bits. So, I mean, I just like the way they argue, because it makes great TV. If you're arguing on TV, it makes great TV. So ITV2 have bought it. It's quite funny, because it used to be with Channel 4, then Channel 5 bought it, and then Channel 5 got rid of it, and now ITV2's bought it. So I think it's one of them shows that will always be about. It's just a case of finding a buyer. But apparently the old set has been smashed down. They actually physically smashed it down. But apparently ITV2 wants this house, because obviously it's a built-up house. It's not a real house. And they want to build it in a way that you can get reuse out of it. But it's always funny when they break through the security walls and you see them, go through the security walls and into the camera runs. Because obviously the mirrors we can see through the mirrors from the security wall, but when they look in the mirror, they can't see through the mirror, because that's where the cameras are. The cameras are through a special mirror that they can see through, but the housemates can't. So, and Big Brother goes on for ages. You know, you've got the celebrity version, and then straight after that, I think it's like a 6-week break, and then you get the standard version. But I think it's more fun when you get the non-celebrities, because you don't see, you know, all the things. But I'll never forget that episode where Jeb would trash the place. They're so funny. I like that, you know, they're so funny, and I like them. And they poured all fairy liquid all over the floor, and oh man, they had the shopping and they were basically making this like jet slide out of it, and they had this shopping budget, and they spent it all on sweets. So it was really, really good. And I think the housemates were like livid. And obviously Big Brother didn't give them another budget, so they were like proper annoyed. So yeah. Oh look, we're on the next block now. Oh, it's so exciting. I'm excited, but I'm also sad at the same time. You know, we've been working on this for so long. Every stage has been a blast and fun to work on. But as we approach the end, it sort of hits you that this painting is coming to an end. And yeah, it's a painting that I thoroughly enjoyed working on, really. But I've got a fun one taking over this, so that'd be good. I always love, let me know in the comments what your favourite part of the painting is. Is it like the centre of it? Is it doing the boarding? For me, I have two. It's seeing the character come to life, and also the marking. I love doing the markings so that I know where I'm going. But when you look at years back when I say years, about last year, when I used to do it on my other channel, I used to start all over the place, and then I was like, people have taught me how to do blocks and that, and it does work a lot better. It really does. And yeah. This is nice, we're getting a bit more of that colour now, so just trying to figure out where I want to take this up to. I'll have a look. So I'm probably going to take it up just where that equal sign is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll do 5 more. That's fine. Hello, it's me. Yeah, so about there, that'll work. Lovely. We could do a massive rectangle. It is exciting though, you know, we get a fresh new painting to work on next. So I'm very, very looking forward to that. But yeah, this is going to be finished by Friday easy, I reckon. I mean, we're on Wednesday at the moment, so yeah, this would be easy. Pipsqueak. What I love is also with diamond painting is the creative process, you know, seeing that. That is a very small block, isn't it? I've just noticed that. But yeah, it's the creative process of, you know, it's lovely. Right, we'll finish this line off because we're coming up to the time limit now on this, so we'll have to finish this off. It's always the way, isn't it? We get the line done, and then it's time to finish. So yeah, but oh, it's lovely. Really, really enjoying it. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll continue it all along, and then I think that's where we will do one last session of filling it in. Won't take long to do, but it could be a couple of sessions of filling it in with the colours that we're missing, like this Z colour here. And yeah, we should have this nice and ready, hanged up on the wall for Halloween. Oh, hang on, that's that colour. And there we go, guys, last jewel going in now for this session. So we'll just pop that in there, 3, 2, 1, and that's that. So please remember to like, share and subscribe. Tap the bell if you want to be notified of all the videos I do. If you want to get this paint in for yourself, the link is in the description below the video, as well as the washi tape. If you want to send me a gift, you can send it to the address in the video. All gifts are greatly appreciated. So yeah. However, you are not obliged to send me a gift if you do not wish to. But any gifts, you know, diamond paintings, it would have to be diamond painting related because this is a diamond painting channel. But yeah, any gifts are quite nice. I know a couple of you have reached out to me to send me Christmas cards and stuff like that. So you can just send them to the address that's in the video if you want to do that. But yeah, we are really, really speeding along. It's not going to be long until this painting is finished. I'm really, really thoroughly enjoying this one. And yeah, until next time, that is diamond painting. So please remember to like, share and subscribe. Tap the bell if you want to be notified of all the videos I do. And I will see you next time where we do another lovely vlog. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.